So that's a little background about my academic journey. And the reason why I'm sharing this background is so that you can understand that the steps I'm going to share with you that I want you to follow when you study mathematics, they work. I have one brother who did his matric last year, and he was also doing maths and science. He followed the very same steps and he passed very well. Right now he's doing mechanical engineering in one of the universities here in South Africa. Whenever you study, it's not just a matter of you studying to pass time, but you're studying for you to understand. They were like, oh, study very hard, you know, you're gonna make it and whatever. But they don't tell you to actually study smart. You know, it's very important that you study hard and also study smart. What to eat before you study. This is one of the most important things. Whenever I eat pap, I study for a very short time. Something really concerning. If you look at the number of subscriptions on this channel, you'll see that it's very low. It hurts me. It doesn't make me happy. So if you're new on this channel, or you've been watching our videos and you love what we do and you would like to support us, kindly hit that subscribe button, like and share the video with your loved ones. This will help to grow this channel to reach multitudes all around the world, because that is the plan, to keep on inspiring and motivating people around the world to become the best in whatever you do, to become successful in whatever way that you wish to become successful. So thank you very much for hitting that subscribe button, because I believe that by now you have subscribed. You haven't? Thank you. Okay, enjoy the video. Life, I think it's only worth when you know what your purpose is, and when you know that this is my passion and I want to try by all means to thrive in my passion. But if there is none of those, it will all be you working hard, being unhappy every day. What's up, visionaries? Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Vision. I hope that you guys are doing well. I'm doing good too. In today's video, I want to share with you the clear and direct steps that you should follow for you to become competent in mathematics. Particularly this video, I would say I'm making it for people who are doing grade 12 or what we call Matric. But if you're watching this video and maybe you're someone who's in high school, even though you're not in grade 12, maybe you're in grade 11 or grade 10, even grade 8 and 9, you can still watch this video and use these steps that I'm going to share today, and you will become competent in mathematics. Just to share with you a little background about my academic journey. I'm Vision, born and raised in Limpopo, Venda, and I went to a small unknown high school. I matriculated in 2021, and as my results for matric, I passed with 5 distinctions out of 7 subjects that I was doing, and the remaining 2 subjects, I remember I got level 6. That was English and geography. So my majors were mathematics and science. So I used the same strategy that I'm going to share with you today for me to pass the way I did. And as a result, I was awarded a laptop for being the best mathematics and science student in my circuit. And also I was accepted in the University of Johannesburg as an orange carpet student. Orange carpet student means that I was part of the top 1% first years at the University of Johannesburg. And I got a certificate for that. And also, yeah, I would say I studied mechanical engineering at the University of Johannesburg, and I finished my degree on record time. It was a 3 years degree, and right now I'm a mechanical engineer graduate trainee at one of the best production companies in South Africa. And I would say that for me to study at the University of Johannesburg, it's not because the University of Johannesburg chose me, but I chose University of Johannesburg because based on my matric results, they were good, and because of that I got the chance to choose from multiple universities. So I was accepted at the University of Cape Town, but I didn't want to go there. I've always wanted to go to University of Johannesburg. I was also accepted in the University of TUT. I was accepted at SMU, but I decided to go and study mechanical engineering at University of Johannesburg because I wanted to do mechanical engineering specifically in the University of Johannesburg. So that's a little background about my academic journey. And the reason why I'm sharing this background is so that you can understand that the steps I'm going to share with you that I want you to follow when you study mathematics, they work. They worked for me, and they didn't just work for me alone. I have one brother who did his Matric last year, and he was also doing maths and science, and he followed the very same steps, and he passed very well. Right now, he's doing mechanical engineering in one of the universities here in South Africa. So these steps work. It's just let's get into it. But before I get into sharing the clear and direct steps, I want to talk about the first three important things for you to note as a Matric student. And number one of those things is it's not a matter of just studying hard, but you need to study smart. You know, by studying smart, I mean that whenever you study, it's not just a matter of you studying to pass time, but you're studying for you to understand every concept that you're studying, whether it's maths or whether it's any subject like life sciences or whatever. You're studying to understand. You're not studying to pass time because you're in grade 12. So you're studying so that you can pass and go to university, or pass and go look for a job, or pass or go do whatever you want to do. So you're studying to understand, not to pass time, but to pass. And the other thing in studying smart is that you should have a strategy. Some people, they understand better when they study using visuals. Some they understand better when they use color pens. Some they understand better, some weird people like myself, we understand better by just studying with one pen and a paper. That's what we need. We need the book, paper, and the pen. That's all. So find your gem, find your strategy. Study yourself. Would say, okay, I understand better when I study this way, and invest in that. Use that whenever you're studying. You'll see that you will be productive, and you'll study effectively, and you become competent in any subject that you are doing. And the other thing is studying hard. There's this concept of people who people whenever they encourage people who are in high school or in Matric or in university, they will like, oh, study very hard, you're gonna make it and whatever. But they don't tell you to actually study smart. It's very important that you study hard and also study smart. So when you study hard, you need to understand what the meaning of studying hard is. According to myself, I feel like studying hard is if maybe you normally study for 2 hours. Maybe before you went to grade 12, you used to study for 2 hours, and you were in grade 11, and you never really got to that point where you were competent enough. Maybe you were just trending on the average, getting the 50s. Maybe sometimes when it's all good and well, you get to the 60s sometimes. But if you want to be competent, if you used to study 2 hours, just add one more hour, study 3 hours, and work on that. That is what is called studying hard. And also understand your concentration span. Concentration span is the amount of time that you can study without being distracted by either fatigue or being sleepy. So you need to study yourself and understand, how long can I concentrate? How long do I focus? And once you know those things, you will be effective in studying any subjects that you are doing. And the last thing on studying hard is that take breaks. Whenever you're studying, make sure that you take breaks. Don't just study wire, because you need to study for 3 hours. You study 3 hours on one sitting. It's not going to work. You're not going to be effective. You're going to just study and just pass time and find out that it's not working out for you. So make sure that whenever you're studying, take breaks. I recommend that study for an hour. After an hour, take a 30 minutes break. Study for another hour, take a 30 minutes break. Study for another hour. That's if you're studying for 3 hours. That helps you to recharge. Breaks help you to recharge your mind. It helps you to refresh your mind. And the way how brain works, we can't really understand it, but maybe people who dwell more in life sciences, they would understand. I have forgotten because I did life sciences only in high school. But yeah, whenever you're studying, you do need to take breaks to just rest your brain, rest your body, refresh your mind, go listen to music, go play outside, go take a walk, do something interesting with that 30 minutes and then get back to studying. You'll see that you are studying effectively. And the other thing is what to eat before you study. This is one of the most important things that I think many people that don't really pay attention to it. Fortunate enough for me, I started to see that this thing has an effect in the way how you study and whether you study effectively or not. At young grades, like grade 9, because I was really trying to study hard in grade 9. So I noticed that there's a difference here. Whenever I eat pap or I eat some, solid meal before studying, I study for a very short time. But when I eat light meals, like bread, rice or, snacks, I can go for long. I can study for long. So there's a trick there. Whenever you want to study, you know that you do need energy, but don't eat too much because you're going to get tired quickly. Don't eat too much. Eat light food, sandwich, cereal, rice or snacks. Don't eat pap or, samp when you know that I need to go and study. You're just setting up yourself for a trap. You're going to sleep after 30 minutes. So this is a very important thing. Make sure that you eat well before you study and don't eat food that is like too hard, like pap and samp specifically. So, yeah, those are the things that I want to share with you. And the last one is to minimize your responsibilities. It's very important that as a grade 12 student, you need to understand that you don't have time to spend on things that are useless. You don't have time to spend on things like chit-chatting on WhatsApp or Facebook or watching reels on YouTube or TikTok. You don't have time for that. You don't have the luxury of spending over 2 hours doing that. So choose your time wisely. Spend your time on things that are important. And by that, I'm not saying that when they send you somewhere at home, maybe your mother or your father is sending you somewhere, you have to grow a thick neck and be like, no, I'm spending my time on important things. No, what I'm saying is that use your time wisely, for things that matters, not things that are useless. They can send you, it's fine, but they are your parents. I'm sure they do understand that even if they are sending you, they must do it, being responsible and thinking for you are doing grade 12. You know what I mean? So choose your time wisely. Choose what takes away your time. It's very important. You are a very important candidate. You are a grade 12 student and you are studying not to just go to the next grade, but to go to the next level in your life, to go to tertiary or to go and work or to go and start a business or to go and follow whatever career path you want. So you are a very important candidate. You need to take care of your time and what you use with your time. And the other thing that I would say is when you spend your time on important things, one of the important things is to refresh your mind doing things that you love. Maybe you play football, maybe you play any sport, maybe you play music instruments, yeah, refresh your mind by doing those things. Refresh your mind by going out to see your friends, go and hang out, sometime, but don't do silly stuff like drinking or whatever, because you're in grade 12. You don't have the luxury to be doing all those things. You don't have the luxury to be going to the clubs or taverns or whatever. Sorry, you don't have that. If you're doing that, just know you are not in the right way, in the right way. As a grade 12 candidate, you need to be grounded, you need to be responsible, you need to be extremely focused. So refresh your mind by going out with your friends, go and hang out, go and play football sometimes, go and play music instruments if you play, listen to music, do all the funny things that you enjoy, so that you can always have that motivation and encouragement, and know that as much as you're focused, you're still living your life. You know what I mean? Have a life. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna share with you the direct steps on how to study mathematics effectively. First thing that I need you to understand is that mathematics is not theory. We know that mathematics is all about solving and proving. So you need to understand that. But there's a very important thing that you need to understand. Study that little content that you find on every chapter. In the beginning of every chapter, there is that small theory on mathematics. Any book that you use that is mathematics, there is that little theory that you find in the beginning of every chapter. Make sure that you study that chapter. For example, you need to know the concept before you rush into doing examples or doing exercises or question papers. You need to know the concept. You need to understand what it's about. You need to know what steps to follow whenever you're solving a certain problem. For example, if you're studying, number patterns, you need to understand what is number pattern. You need to understand the difference between sequence and series. If we are talking about trigonometry, you need to understand what is a reduction formula, and you need to be able to compute a reduction formula. You need to understand what are core ratios. You know what I mean? I'm saying these things because I know there are some people whom I did grade 12 with, and they would say they're studying mathematics, they're doing problems, they're doing exercises, they're doing question papers. What is core ratios? Find out that they don't know what core ratios are. Find out that they don't know what trigonometric reduction formula is. So it's very important that study that small, theory in the beginning of every chapter in mathematics. There's not much theory in mathematics. It's just those few lines, those few paragraphs in the beginning of every chapter. Study them. Don't skip and say, I'm going to do examples. Nah, that's not the way to do it. Study that theory and understand it. Then after, you can go to the next step. And step 2, it's solving examples for the first time. This is after you have studied the theory. Now, if it's trigonometry, you've understood the concepts, you've understood what core ratios are, you've understood what is the reduction formula, and all those other things in trigonometry. Now it's time for you to do the examples. And I recommend to you that make sure that you do each and every example after studying a certain chapter. Most of the time you find out that examples, they're not as many as exercises. But examples, if it's a chapter, you find there are like 10 examples, 15 examples. Make sure that you do each and every one of those examples. And now, when you solve them for the first time, you need to read through the example first. You don't just pick up your pen and say, now I'm solving the example by yourself and all that. No, put your pen down, read through the example with understanding. Read it through, understand what it's about. After that, pick up your pen, write that example down. Don't close the book that you're using to study that example. Keep it open, write the example down, checking the steps, making sure that you mark each and every step that you are reading with understanding. Write it down because you're doing the example for the first time. So this is your first encounter with the example. You can't say, I'm jumping in, I'm solving, what. No, that's not the way to study mathematics. Solve that problem, relax, chill, just relax and chill. Keep that book open, note down each and every step, looking at it. Okay, cool. Here they did this. Note it down. Here they did this. Note it down. Oh, this is that step. This is that whatever. Mark it down. And then after that, now you will see that, okay, you understand the example and you know the example. And now maybe you know that, okay, cool. After doing so, you're ready to do the example by yourself, which brings us to step number 3, which is solving the example for the second time. Now, when you solve the example for the second time. Close that book that you used when you were doing it for the first time, and you can use the very same book that you were using when you were solving it for the first time, but now you need to attempt the example by yourself without seeing it in any other book. So attempt that. But a very important thing that you need to note, if you get stuck because of a certain step, open where you wrote it the first time, where you wrote the example the first time. Go and take that step, write it down, just copy and paste that step, and then continue with the other steps. Because if you're stuck and now you stop writing, you're thinking, what was that other step? What was that? Time is ticking. As a grade 12 student, you don't have time. And as a person in general, you don't have time. Time is moving in life. So make sure that just open where you wrote for the first time. Take that one step that you forgot, put it down and continue solving your example. And after that, you'll see that, oh, actually math is not as bad as people say it is. Because honestly, math is easy. According to myself, math is one of the easiest subjects. It's just you need to have a strategy, and I'm giving you the strategy. Take it the way it is, apply it, and you will tell me one day. So you're attempting the example by yourself now, and what's important is that if you get stuck, go and take that step that you forgot and write it down, then continue, and you'll be good. So in summary, I would say that you do each and every example twice. First time, it's step 2. You do it, while you can see the example. You're just copying, but you're studying it. To understand it, to follow up the steps. The second time, that's where you attempt it by yourself. So now let's go to step number 4. Step number 4 is doing the exercises. Now, in every mathematics, chapter, you may find out that there are so many exercises at the end of the chapter. But what's important is that don't do all the exercises for one chapter. You're wasting time. People who are good at mathematics or who are competent in mathematics, they know that you don't do all the exercises at the end of each chapter. No, you go and pick the most challenging ones. Out of 15 exercises, you'll find out that the most useful exercises, there are only 5. Go and pick those 5, the challenging ones. Go and solve those ones, and that will help you. You're sharpening your brain, and you will become competent in mathematics. That's how people who they appear to be geniuses in mathematics. That's how they do it. They do the most challenging exercises, not to waste time doing all the exercises at the end of each chapter, because that's a waste of time. So you become good in maths when you do hard questions. You don't need to waste your time by trying to do simple questions and whatever. But it's important that know the simple ones. Don't just focus on the challenging ones and then be like, I don't care about the simple ones. No, just don't waste time on the simple ones, but know them, because it's important. In exam, they will be there, the simple ones. And that's where you need to get more marks there. So know them, just don't waste time on them. And the other important thing is that some chapters, you will find that they have all the exercises, they are hard. All exercise questions, they are very hard, they are very difficult. Most of the time, you'll find that chapters that have exercises like that, it's chapters that have a short number of exercises. Maybe you'll find that the number of exercises like 6 or 8. For example, financial mathematics, it has very few exercises at the end of that chapter. So in that case, make sure that you do all those exercises. They are challenging, they are hard, and you'll find that each one of them is different. It has its own steps, it has its own mathematical models and all the methods that you need to use. So make sure that you do all of them. You'll become competent. You'll pass grade 12 with an A in mathematics. Yeah. Just take what I'm telling you. You'll see, guys. You'll see. So step number 5, we come to the most important part of studying now. Solving the past question papers. This is one of the most important things that you need to understand, because Solving past question papers, it sharpens your brain, and it makes you have kind of it makes you to be aware of what an exam paper will look like, and it helps you a lot. So this is one of the most important things. So I would recommend that at the end of each chapter, after studying a certain chapter, make sure that you do a minimum of 10 question papers, doing that one question for that specific chapter. If maybe it was a chapter, maybe financial mathematics, have 10 question papers, go to that question that is talking about financial mathematics, do each one of them on all those 10 question papers, so that you can see the differences in how they ask the questions, based on those different question papers. So I really hope that you are getting this. You are done studying a chapter, go find 10 question papers. Maybe a chapter that you were studying is financial mathematics. Go and pick the questions that are about financial mathematics. If financial mathematics is question 2 in each paper, do all those question 2s in all the 10 question papers to understand the differences and similarities in the way how they examine. Yeah, I'm sure you got that one. You got that one. Great. You're doing great. Yeah, you're doing, but subscribe. So when you, yeah, that's what I was sharing. And the last step now, it's step number 6. This is preparing for your June, for your trial, or for your final exam. And June exam is approaching. I think some have started writing already. I'm not sure, but yeah, this is very important now. You are done studying. By this time, I assume that you're done studying, but it's okay. Even if you're not yet done, I'm still going to share other videos sharing steps to follow when you study other subjects like physical sciences and life sciences, and language subjects like English or whatever. Now, this is one step that is also important. You are done studying. Now you're preparing for exam. You're not supposed to be going to open your book. Now you're doing examples. Now you're doing exercises. Nah, you're not supposed to be doing that. You are done studying. When what you need to do is to do the question papers. Now you are writing the question papers. You are setting the examination for yourself by yourself. What do I mean by that? The best way I did it when I was in grade 12, I made sure that I finished the syllabus for each subject by the end of June. Was it by the end of June 2021? Yeah, by the end of June, because we didn't have June exam, but we had trial exam because of it was coronavirus and whatever. So I made sure that I was done with the syllabus for each and every subject that I was doing by the end of June. After that, what I was doing was that I was setting exam for my own self. So I go online, I download the past question papers. I take a question paper as it is. I print it out at school. I print it out. I wasn't printing all the time, but sometimes I just felt that this question paper, like, it's nice, it's beautiful, it's challenging. I need to print this one. I need to have a hard copy of this one, write it, and have that kind of a feel. I'm in the exam room and I'm writing the final or June or trial exam, and write it by my own self while I'm timing myself. Most of the time, you'll find that when you're writing a mathematics paper, it's 3 hours. It's 3 hours examination. I said 3 hours, and I make a stop timer, a stopwatch there, so that after 3 hours it rings, and then I have to stop. I don't give myself extra time. If I'm not done writing that paper, I'm stopping. Wherever I ended, I study through, and I do an observation. Who could see, okay, I wrote this paper now. What did I get wrong? And I mark myself realistically, because I know I'm doing this for me and I want to go to varsity. I'm not studying to go to the next grade. I'm studying to go to varsity, to UJ specifically, one of the best universities in South Africa. Shout out to UJ. Yeah. So I made sure that after I write each and every examination paper, I read through it, I go through it, I mark it realistically, and then I do correction. authentically and genuinely so. I do correction on myself. I mean, by myself. Please pardon me. My English is not so, it's not so nice, but it's fine. We'll get there one day. So I made sure that I do question paper. I write exam by myself. I time myself. I mark it, and then I do correction. After doing correction, I'm going to do another question paper, because that helps you to understand the way how these people examine on final exam and all those stuff, and then you will become competent in mathematics just like me. I got above 80% in mathematics in 2021. You can do it too. It's 2025. You can do it too, and you're gonna do it as long as you follow the steps that I gave you. So these are very important things, and I would recommend that before you go to write your final examination, make sure that you do a minimum of 10 question papers in mathematics. Understand them thoroughly. Understand each and everything that you encountered in those 10 question papers. You'll come back and comment here next year in 2026 in January when results come out. You'll come back, and you should come back and comment. You should come back and comment, and tell me how it went, because I'm giving you the tips here on how to study effectively for your mathematics examination. So I really hope that you find this useful. And if maybe you were watching it and you're not in grade 12 or in high school, but you know someone who's in grade 12 or in high school, please kindly share the video with them. You also don't forget to subscribe, like, comment as well, and kindly share the video with the people that you know who are in grade 12 or in high school, so that they can watch and adapt these steps to follow for them to become competent in mathematics. I really appreciate you for watching this video, and thank you very much. Subscribe, like, share, and put down a comment if you found this video to be useful, and you wanna take all these steps that I gave you and apply them when you study mathematics. Just put down a comment below, and yeah, I'd really love to hear from you. I wish you all the best in preparing for your June exams, your trial and your final exams. I really wish you all the best, and I wish that you become what you want to be in life. You know, there's a video that I made about choosing a career. I'm sure because you're in grade 12 right now, you're thinking about, what career am I supposed to follow? What am I supposed to do in varsity? What am I supposed to do after Matric? I made a video. You can check it out on my channel. It's about 3 steps or 3 things that you should note and consider when you choose a career. So just check it out, and I hope that you'll find it to be useful. And I'm doing all this for you guys. I'm doing all this to help you guys so that you can become the best versions of yourself. And all that I'm doing in this podcast is to inspire and motivate people. And please, please, please subscribe. It will help to grow this channel so that we can reach multitudes and multitudes all around the world, and keep on inspiring people. We are going far. You are going far. South Africa is going far. Thank you.